Coronation day for Chinedu to be king has finally drawn, and one maiden must be chosen first. The chosen maidens were presented during the harvest, dressed in white and adorned with coral beads. They embodied beauty and grace. Chinedu was expected to select one, but as he gazed at them, his mind was clouded with doubt. Among the maidens was Nneka, a childhood friend whose laughter had always brought him peace. Yet another maiden, Adora, stood out. Her demeanor was serene, her eyes holding an unspoken wisdom. That night, Chinedu sought counsel from his parents. His father, a man of tradition, advised him to follow the signs of the gods, while his mother urged him to listen to his heart. Torn between duty and desire, Chinedu returned to the Iroko tree, seeking clarity. There, under the moonlight, the spirit of the masquerade appeared once more. Chinedu, the one you chose, will shape not just your destiny, but the destiny of Obinago. Trust what lies beyond the eyes. The final day of the festival dawned, and the entire village gathered for the coronation ceremony. Chinedu, adorned in regal attire, stood before the elders. The maidens were brought forward, and the moment of decision arrived. Closing his eyes, Chinedu let the masquerade's words guide him. When he opened them, he pointed to Adora. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd, for Adora was not from Obinago, but from a neighboring village. The elders hesitated, but the high priest declared, "The gods do not err. This union will bring unity beyond borders." As Chinedu and Nneka were blessed, the sky darkened, and a light rain began to fall, a sign of approval from Chiukwu, god of the land. With his wife by his side, Chinedu was crowned the traditional ruler of Obinago. But as the celebrations unfolded, Adora whispered, "There is more to your destiny than you know, my king. I too have been chosen." Chinedu's heart raced. What secrets did Adora hold? And how would their shared destiny shape the future of Obinago? Chinedu and Adora's union was celebrated far and wide. Their marriage was seen as a divine bond to solidify peace between Obinago and its neighboring villages. Yet, beneath the surface of their smiles, Adora carried a secret that weighed heavily on her heart. Chinedu, now the traditional ruler of Obinago, sought Adora's counsel in matters of governance. Her wisdom and grace quickly won over the council of elders, but whispers about her origins lingered. One evening, as they walked beneath the sacred Iroko tree, Chinedu asked, "Adora, there's something about you. Your wisdom, your calm strength, where do these come from?" Adora hesitated, but finally said, "There are things about me you do not yet know, my king. In time, the truth will reveal itself." Chinedu was unsettled by her words, but chose to trust her. Yet a lingering unease began to gnaw at him. During a council meeting, the high priest, Ogbuefe Adibe, revealed an ancient prophecy that had been unearthed in the village archives. The prophecy spoke of a ruler who would unite lands and bring prosperity, but at a cost. The king's greatest trial, Ogbuefe said, will come from within his own household. Only through love and sacrifice will he prevail. The words struck Chinedu deeply, and his thoughts turned to Adora. Was she part of this trial, or was she the key to overcoming it? That night, as Chinedu lay awake, he recalled the feather given to him by the masquerade. He retrieved it and found that strange carvings had appeared on its surface. The markings seemed to pulsate, drawing him towards the sacred Iroko tree. Under the moonlight, the spirit of the masquerade appeared once more. "You have chosen well, Chinedu," it said, "but your queen carries a burden tied to your fate. The path ahead will test your love, your duty, and your resolve. Remember, only truth can light the way." As the days passed, Chinedu began to notice Adora's frequent visits to the outskirts of the village. Curious, he decided to follow her one evening and discovered her meeting with an elder from her native village. Hidden behind a tree, he overheard fragments of their conversations. "You must tell him soon," the elder urged. "The peace of these lands depends on it." "I know," Adora replied, her voice trembling. "But how do I tell him that I am bound by blood to the very prophecy that governs his life?" Chinedu's heart sank. He revealed himself, and Adora froze in shock. "What does this mean, Adora?" he demanded. Tears welled in her eyes. "I was chosen just as you were. My lineage ties me to the Ogene Emenike, the voice of the future. My ancestors were the guardians of the prophecy, sworn to guide its fulfillment. But this bond means that if the prophecy is not fulfilled, the balance of peace will shatter, and so will our union." Chinedu was torn between love for Adora and his duty to his people. While he wanted to protect her, whispers of betrayal began to spread among the elders. Some questioned her loyalty, citing her secretive nature and her ties to another village. During a council meeting, one elder, Ezocha Odezulibo, stood and said, "A king must lead with a clear heart and an unclouded mind. Can you trust a queen whose origins and intentions remain shrouded?" The tension in the room was palpable, and Chinedu found himself at a crossroads. That night, he confronted Adora again. "Tell me everything," he demanded. "No more secrets." Adora took a deep breath. "The prophecy speaks of a ruler who will unite the lands, but it also warns of a great sacrifice. The one closest to the king must offer themselves to protect the land from destruction. Chinedu, if the time comes, that sacrifice will be me." Chinedu's world shattered. He couldn't fathom losing her, but the weight of her words hung heavily. As the days unfold, news of a rogue faction, the Agbara youth, a splinter group from a neighboring village, reached the ears of Chinedu's council. The peace between Obinago and the neighboring villages was tested when this rogue faction attacked. These raiders attacked farms and stole harvests, threatening the fragile alliance between the villages. One evening, during a quiet walk with Adora, Chinedu voiced his concerns. "Our people look to us for strength, yet I feel the weight of their expectations. This unity is fragile, Adora." Adora placed a hand on his arm. "We must stay strong together, my king. But remember, Chinedu, sometimes the heart holds answer the mind cannot see." Her words comforted him, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that a storm was brewing. That night, Chinedu dreamed of fire sweeping through the village, and in the flames, Adora stood at the center, reaching out to him. Days later, a raid left several farms in ruins, and tensions reached a breaking point. At the council meeting, Elder Ezocha Odenigbo accused Adora of being a spy. She is tied to another village. Ezocha Odenigbo thundered. Who's to say her loyalties lie with us? Chinedu rose, his voice firm. Adora is my queen, chosen by the gods. I will not tolerate baseless accusations. Despite his defense, doubts lingered among the elders. That evening, Chinedu found Adora standing alone by the sacred Iroko tree, her shoulders heavy with sorrow. They don't trust me, she said softly. I trust you, Chinedu replied, taking her hands in his. But you must tell me if there's more to this. What aren't you saying, Adora? Tears filled her eyes. The rogue faction, they are led by my cousin Obieze. He rejected the peace our villages forged and believes I betrayed our bloodline by marrying you. Chinedu's heart sank. Why didn't you tell me? I was afraid, she admitted. Afraid you'll see me as a threat, not an ally. The next day, Obieze's faction launched a bold attack, burning a yam barn near the village square. As Chinedu rallied his warriors, Adora begged him to wait. Let me speak to Obieze, she pleaded. I can reason with him. Blood may divide us, but it also binds us. Chinedu hesitated. What if he uses this meeting to harm you? You must trust me as I trust you, Adora said, her voice steady. Against his instincts, Chinedu agreed, but he sent a small group of warriors to watch from a distance. Adora met Obieze at the edge of the forest, her heart pounding. You've betrayed our ancestors, Obieze spat. You've aligned with those who took our land and pride. No, Adora countered, her voice resolute. This union is not betrayal but strength. If we continue this war, both villages will crumble. Is that the legacy you want? Obieze faltered. But before he could respond, a rogue warrior attacked Adora from behind. Chinedu's warriors intervened and a fierce battle erupted. Chinedu arrived at the battlefield, his heart racing as he saw Adora fighting for her life. The sight of her in danger unleashed a fury within him. Leading his warriors, he pushed back the rogue faction, forcing them to retreat. When the dust settled, Chinedu found Adora, blood staining her white wrapper. You could have died, he exclaimed, his voice breaking. I had to try, she replied quickly, for peace, for us. As healers tended to her wounds, Chinedu faced a growing dilemma. The prophecy spoke of sacrifice, and now it seemed clearer than ever. To protect the land, he might have to lose the woman he loved most. The rogue faction regrouped and prepared for a final attack, this time targeting the sacred Iroko tree, a symbol of unity and divine protection. Chinedu and his warriors readied for battle, but Adora approached him with a solemn expression. Chinedu, she said, I understand now. The prophecy wasn't just about you, it was about us. The sacrifice it speaks of is mine. No, Chinedu said firmly. We will find another way. Adora cupped his face in her arms. If I don't act, Obinago will fall. You were chosen to lead, and I was chosen to protect you. Let me fulfill my destiny. As the rock faction attacked, Adora stood before the sacred tree, chanting an ancient prayer. The ground trembled, and a bright light engulfed the battlefield. The rogue warriors, disoriented, fled in terror, while Obieze fell to his knees, overcome with remorse. When the light faded, Adora was gone. The tree stood untouched, its roots glowing faintly as if infused with her essence. The victory came at a heavy price. Chinedu mourned Adora deeply, but her sacrifice united the villages and fulfilled the prophecy. The sacred tree became a symbol of their love, and every New Yam festival, offerings were made in her honor. Chinedu ruled with wisdom and compassion, his heart forever guided by Adora's memory. Her words echoed in his mind. Sometimes the heart holds answers the mind cannot see. Years later, King Chinedu remarried Nneka. Under the shade of the sacred tree, a child was born, a daughter Chinedu named Adaeze, the crown of the king. And as the people of Obinago celebrated many New Yam festivals, they told the story of the king and queen, whose love and sacrifice transcended time. The legacy of Chinedu and Adora lived on, a testament to the power of love, duty, and the unbreakable bond between destiny and tradition. Adaeze grew and became the first president of the town for Obinago. Join us in another episode of how Adaeze continued her life. Kindly subscribe, like, share, and comment. Thank you.